Anatomy of Lies' biggest bombshells. How former Grey's Anatomy writer Elisabeth Finch allegedly faked cancer. Past trauma. Nearly 2 years ago, the web of lies came crashing down for Elisabeth Finch, a former writer and consulting producer on Grey's Anatomy. The new Peacock docuseries, Anatomy of Lies, explores how Finch allegedly faked her own medical history, made up allegations of abuse and betrayed her loved ones, including estranged wife Jenn Beyer, and colleagues as she ascended the ranks of the hit ABC medical drama. As the accusations against Finch came to light, she was placed on temporary leave from her duties on the series in March 2022 as Disney Television Studios investigated the claims about her personal and medical history. At the time, Finch's attorney Andrew B. Brettler issued a statement on her behalf to People. Ms. Finch is not going to discuss her private health matters. Likewise, she will not speak about her pending divorce from her estranged wife, Jennifer Beyer, or comment on any statements that Ms. Beyer may have made to third parties about Ms. Finch, he said. Brettler did not return People's request for comment on the new docuseries, which premiered on Tuesday, October 15. Finch resigned later that year, before admitting to some of her lies in a December 2022 interview with The Ankler. Read on for a look at the biggest bombshells from Peacock's Anatomy of Lies. In February 2014, Elisabeth Finch, who has previously written for True Blood and Vampire Diaries, revealed in a Elle magazine article that she was living with chondrosarcoma, a rare form of bone cancer. The article caught the attention of Grey's Anatomy creator Shonda Rhimes, and she was soon hired as a writer on the series. At one point, the show was considering letting Finch go, but were allegedly told by executives, "You can't fire Finchy. Finchy has cancer. She has to stay on the show." According to former Grey's Anatomy and Scandal writer Mark Wilding, Finch's former co-workers remembered her appearing ill at work. "There was a day in the writer's room that she was wearing sort of like a low-cut sweater," former Grey's Anatomy writer Kylie Donovan shared. "And I noticed for the first time that I could see her chemo port on her chest, and I'd never seen one on a person. Finch was taking breaks to go to the bathroom and throw up from the chemo, and it started to really feel like I'm going to attend this person's funeral. But my sense that I got from her is that she didn't want to confide in people about her cancer." Former Grey's Anatomy writer Andy Reeser recalled, but added that she openly discussed her diagnosis on social media. Donovan added, "It did feel sometimes like two different Finches." Finch's medical history led her to become the cancer expert in the room, and she wrote a storyline in which Debbie Allen's character Catherine Avery was diagnosed with chondrosarcoma, the same type of cancer she claimed to have. A fictitious visit to the Tree of Life Synagogue. Finch claimed to have ties to the Tree of Life Synagogue following the October 27, 2018 shooting and race to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the aftermath of the tragedy. "We found that Finch had gone to that synagogue in the past and knew some of the people who were murdered," Reeser shared. At the time, she tweeted, "As someone who stood amidst the Pittsburgh synagogue carnage, I'll just say, my heart is broken. My brain is broken." However, Wilding recalled that he saw some red flags in Finch's story, saying, "I remember talking to Andy Reiser, and I said, do you understand how odd that sounds? The fact that she had to go and, scoop up her friend's brains? I mean, that's pretty heavy duty. Also, the FBI is there. It's a crime scene." And he said, "I'm a Christian, and I don't necessarily know all the tenets of the Jewish faith. I certainly didn't think to question her." Ex-Grey's Anatomy staffer admits she lied about having cancer. Brother's suicide 9 months after probe. On-set accusations. Finch also came forward with claims of harassment by an unnamed director on the set of Vampire Diaries in a 2018 Hollywood Reporter article, which was later removed from the site due to Finch's fabrications, according to an editor's note. 3 minutes into a rehearsal on my episode of the Vampire Diaries, the director screams, "If I wanted to talk to a nagging C, I'd go home to my wife. I laugh for every damn day of that shoot." Laugh through his food jokes about actresses' bodies and lingering hugs and clammy hands on the back of my neck, giving me massages I never want but allow anyway, she wrote, per the docuseries. Lysina Stoneburner, a former acting coach on the Vampire Diaries, doubted the accusations, calling them very surprising in the docuseries. The closing credits notes. Finch has never publicly retracted her accusations against the unnamed Vampire Diaries director. Silent all these years. Donovan revealed an anatomy of lies that she told Finch her biological father was my mother's rapist, which she had not yet processed at the time. After the conversation, Donovan claimed that Finch started writing the acclaimed 2019 Grey's Anatomy episode, Silent All These Years, in which Jo Wilson, Camilla Luddington, treats a patient was assaulted and has flashbacks to learning she was conceived from rape. In the episode, the female cast and crew members were invited to line the hallways in one scene, and Finch can be seen walking beside the gurney in promotional photos for the episode. And just even hearing that story, I have not even told this story myself, and I'm a writer, like I haven't even had the chance to figure out if I want to tell this story, and now it's an episode, and it was really starting to bug me that this is going to the high-profile episode post-Me Too, Donovan said. But looking back, it was super painful, she added. It just felt weird and wrong, and I never confronted Finch about it, because it felt I was a lower-level writer, and she was a co-executive producer and was being heralded for this amazing script, and it didn't feel like I had a leg to stand on, or that it was appropriate. In a previous interview, Finch claimed that she wrote the episode, by myself, after asking to not have a writer's room for the emotional story. The closing credits notes. Finch has said that the Kavanaugh hearings inspired Grey's Anatomy episode Silent All These Years. Actor Camilla Luddington has said that those hearings inspired her to suggest the storyline of her character, Jo, being conceived by rape. After the Silent All These Years episode, Finch became increasingly interested in the storyline of Jo Wilson on Grey's Anatomy and pushed for the character to go down a really dark path. According to Donovan. Donovan noted that Finch decided the only option was for Jo to go into inpatient treatment. Not long after, research shared that Finch allegedly had a complete breakdown and went to receive treatment for PTSD at Sierra Tucson, a mental health facility in Arizona. Finch had checked herself into a facility in Arizona. She checked in under the name of Jo, the character on the show that she was dealing with, which seemed very strange, Reese recalled. While receiving treatment, she met another patient named Jenn Beyer, who was also struggling from PTSD due to the alleged abuse she suffered from her husband.